Good morning, everyone. Well, at least it's morning when I'm shooting this video here. But this is a tour of my vinyl room, which I've been wanting to make. I'm just panning the camera around to show you one of the walls. And I made a video yesterday, but it turned out to be too dark, so it was cloudy, and I was unable to get enough light into the room. We had an overcast, rainy, snowy day, but the sun's out. I opened up the blinds, and we're gonna try this video again. In fact, let me pull this open all the way. See what kind of light we get now. Okay, the main wall, as you can see, is where I shelf all my vinyl records, all the good stuff, the stereo equipment, the turntable, the wall with the framed albums right there. And as you can see, I have those blue and red strips, red being the alphabet and the blue giving a genre of music. And those are plastic strips somebody was throwing out, and I got a bunch of them, and I finally put them to good use. Let me get over here. So I got them labeled by genres of music. And they do come off, so I can have access to the albums, because you can see they overhang. Little holes drilled right there, and nails, so I'm able to reinsert them quickly like that. And I think it's cool. I had in mind, the old record stores you go into, and they got categories of music, classical, country music, soul. That's what I kind of had in mind. And down here, I've got the jazz albums. The sun's kind of bright here, but that says country music. And my main albums, I play the most, the popular titles. I don't got them categorized. I got them alphabetized. So your A's start here, in there, and it goes to B there, and then B ends right there. C starts there, and a lot of C's, and goes on to here. So you got your Cars, you got your Chicago, your Eric Clapton, your Cheap Tricks, Creedence Clearwater Revivals, Cosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Let's see what else. Commander Cody, I see. Ry Cooder, that sort of stuff. And then the D's start, D's end, and so on. So, and down here we got the G's, the H, and so on. So you could kind of sense the way I have them organized. I have a separate rack here that holds a number of things, artists, and these artists here are the artists that I listened to the most growing up. So you got your Beatles solo work artist, John, Paul, George, Ringo as separate. The Rolling Stones, Elton John, Bob Dylan, Led Zeppelin. So those were my anchor artists growing up, what I was listening to. So since I have a lot of their albums, housing this separately. And you see those racks here, right here? They're plastic, and there's 4 of them, and I got them at a garage sale some years back, and I said, oh, that would be so cool to use to store albums, because they've got separators here, so it's not like all one big bundle of albums. You can kind of separate them, which is cool. And these are some more separators, which I brought at a actually somebody was throwing those out, so I had to do a little adjusting here to, because the top screwed off, and heighten them a little bit so everything will fit in. But the top one, I have CD box sets in there. And then what you see on the wall is pretty much newer vinyl, not thrift stores, by newer artists or some veterans there. Newcomer Leon Bridges, his debut album, Coming Home. Nick Lowe, I love that cover. The Old Magic album he put out a number of years back, of Monsters and Men. Elton John, The Diving Board. She and Him, Volume 2. If you could see that, Chuck Prophet, Night Surfer, which he signed for me. He did a show here in Norfolk, a very, very, very small venue. Great show. He was able to, since it was so small, he was able to really communicate with the artist, connect with the audience, I meant to say, and, you know, tell stories. And during intermission, we got a chance to actually meet him. The venue was so small that, you know, it was very relaxed. And, you know, talk with him. Very nice guy. So during the intermission, I brought this album, and he signed it for me. St. Vincent, her self-titled album. Beck, Morning Phase, which won the Grammy for Best Album last year. Vampire Weekend. We all have heard of this lady. Tom Waits and Fleet Foxes. The wall on the other side here, which I'm going to pan the camera over, have some more album covers and album frames. And I've got to put some more at the bottom there. I get these frames from Michael's Craft Store, and I got a $25 gift certificate. So sometimes they go on sale 3 for $9, which is an incredible deal. So I'm waiting for that to happen so I can buy like 6 and really fill up the wall. So for these albums, when I frame them, I take the record out and house them in a separate area, which is right here. So if I want to play one, I don't have to mess with taking the frame down. So they're right here. I have them properly labeled. Like that. Pretty cool. And then this area is the rest of my 180 gram vinyl records that I didn't have a chance to frame on the wall yet. So I'll show you what I have here. Stevie Wonder's 2 classic albums, Talking Books and those are reissued, 180 gram. They sound fantastic. Otis Redding, Otis Blue, great album. Got a couple of Shelby Lynn's. Bob Dylan's Tempest. So when I get more frames, I can frame them. Another She and Him, Volume 3. The Black Keys Turn Blue, and oops, El Camino. Foster the People Supermodel. Curtis Mayfield's first album, and Jimi Hendrix Electric Ladyland. Again, these are all new, either by new artists or reissued by veterans. Tom Petty's Hypnotic Eye. We got a reissue, the Alabama Shakes, their debut album, and their sophomore album. Bruce Springsteen, Wrecking Ball. Lucinda Williams, Down Where the Spirit Meets the Bone, and Blessed. And I have a number of Beatles reissued. Practically all of them. All that I can afford so far. These are all stereo, not the monos. I only have one mono, and that's with the Beatles. I got Rubber Soul in there too. So, again, this is like, if this was the wine cellar, this would be the most expensive wine in this rack here. Right in that area. Okay. Moving on. Oh, by the way, check this out. Those are Sansui early 1970s headphones. They work. They're in like mint condition. They were given to me by my wife's uncle, who was cleaning out the attic. There they are. And it also had the box and the receipt. And they sound great, oversized 70s headphones. I love them. A nice addition to the vinyl room. And I have some decorative items. That was my father's cup when he was in the Navy to drink coffee. Fred and Ginger Rogers. I don't know what that's doing on there. Some cassettes there. Soundgarde record, preserve record kit. That's old. The record sign you see on the wall there is I pulled out of a dumpster of a big chain record store that was being remodeled, and I just kept it. And anything I'm currently playing, I put a couple of hooks in here where I can album that I'm currently playing, I can slide it in there. You can see how they are. And I got that for Christmas, which I thought was pretty cool. So that's that area of the main area of the vinyl room. It got all kinds of genres of music there and all that. This picture I'm going to replace soon and put it in the movie room and put some more album covers up there and there. So I've got spaces on the wall to fill out. Then I'm going to take you to by the way, those where I have all my CDs. Right there. Those cabinets are really nice. I brought them from Music Warehouse when they were in business. They're out of business now. That's one of my guitar amps, the Line 6 transistor. It's not a tube. And I got that for $40 at a thrift store. No, not a thrift store, a garage sale. and it works, and it has all. It's a really a tinker type of guitar amp where you can produce all kinds of sound. I got some crap down there I got to put away, and we go into this area here. This is my command center. That's my rock and roll library, you can call it, and those are all rock magazines there. More rock and roll books. And here is my what I call the command center, my computer, and I have a big screen too. I'm going to show you something real quick. Thank you for bearing with me. I know I think we're 15 minutes into this video. I should have had this already up. One thing I do is I can digitize all my albums. I mean, I still play them. I like that process of playing them, but sometimes when you just want to relax and listen to some music and you don't want to mess around with albums, you can digitize them. And this computer was connected up to the stereo system. Yeah, I did it wrong. Whoops. I'm terribly sorry. We go on Audacity. That's the program I use to record the albums. We go open. And this is one I recorded yesterday. It takes a few minutes to put it on there, but I want to show you something on it. And we go, I call this the classic rock area of the room, of the vinyl room, where I put up the frames of classic rock albums. As you see, we have Hendrix, the Beach Boys, Bob Dylan, Buddy Holly, and we move over here. Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Elton John, the Velvet Underground, the Who, and the Beatles. And we pan through here. That's a Gresh 1950s amp, so that's really really cool, and it works too. I play guitar, so those are my guitar books there. By various artists and structural booklets and all that. I've been trying to teach myself guitar for the last 20 years. You never quite learned. We go through here. One of my speakers, I have it set up. Two speakers are in this part of the room, and two are the other part, the earlier part I showed you. And I can adjust them, so if I wanted just to have the speakers in this part, my wife's downstairs watching TV, I can adjust it so these two will just play and won't be as loud. This is a wall of various magazines. Time magazine with Springsteen on the cover, Elton on the cover, the Rolling Stones, Old Cream magazine with Elton, Spin with U2, and that's Time magazine, the passing of George Harrison. And I got this in the mail yesterday, the passing of David Bowie. So Bowie will go on the wall next to George. The Woodstock magazine there is an original of the special edition of the event of Woodstock. And there's been several reissues of it, but that's an original. I paid like $5 a garage sale for it. Well worth it. And we come down here. That's my that Elvis box set belonged to my mom. It's like a candlelight collaboration with RCA Records. Elvis. My Beatles white album poster there. And we come down here and we got the my rock and roll concert and movie collection. Very nice. And some books, some documentaries, some more rock and roll books. And then here are some of the DVD sets of TV series, long-running dramas, I call them, but I like. So you got The Sopranos, Mad Men, House of Cards, and Breaking Bad. And these are albums I still got to, recent purchases I still got to put up, got to put into the collection. They will be logged in on a Excel spreadsheet I have. Some more down there. Down here I got another guitar amp, some more equipment. I got too much junk, some turntables, and oh, this is here, we got it up. Okay. Got an album. This is an album I put on Digitize, and where you see the mouse right there, that's every one of those where, and then it separates, represents a track. And on this, I can, once I record it, I have to separate the tracks, and then I can do eliminate clicks and pops, which is ignoring, so I can do that. So on this, this is a album here I recorded yesterday. Dwight Yoakam, guitars, Cadillacs, etc., etc. And it sounds great. And so I, digitize it, and I just have to separate the tracks, name them, and we're good to go. The thing about digitizing is you're able to create playlists, which is really cool. So if you want an assortment of artists or a certain mood, you can do that. Moving down here, those down there, those albums are kind of albums I still have to organize, and they're just thrift store throwaways, but I still like them. Some of the covers I like. So that's the room. This is my hangout, my little man cave. This is where I spend most of my time. My Taylor acoustic guitar, my Gibson Studio Electric. That's a 1960s Panasonic radio. It still works.
Ways to move. By the third move, it's 100.
That's my main Fender amp. That's a effect pod. I don't know if you could see it. So that's the tour. And this room is still a work in progress. It's kind of small but cozy. Talk a little bit about the equipment. That's a Newmark turntable. Very good. It's a turntable that converts, of course, and it's a DJ turntable that my nephew gave me. Not gave me, he sold it to me, but he sold it to me at a very good price. This is my integrated Onkyo amplifier, which I brought in 1978. So it's like a Jimmy Carter era amplifier, stereo amplifier. It has all the bells and whistles, and it works. And like, here's the adjuster knob for the speakers. So if I want the back speakers here, I can adjust, make an adjustment, or the other speakers up front, or play them all at the same time. And it has all the trebles, bass, and bells and whistles. This unit I used up until 2002. I put it in storage, and recently took it out of storage because I wanted to use it for the vinyl room. And while it came on, it did not work. No sound. So I took it to a place called Boone's TV, which they primarily work on vintage stereo equipment now. And it's a transformer or transmitter or whatever had to be replaced, and they cleaned it up for me and got it working really nicely. So it cost $149, but the unit has a lot of sentimental value to me because this is where what I used to listen to a lot of albums, got familiar with a lot of music. Down there is a graphic equalizer, Pioneer. Somebody was throwing away, so I snatched that up. A Pioneer tuner for you to get your AM and FM. And that's my old Onkyo 6 carousel CD player, which I have to hook up because I'll still play CDs. So that's it. That's the room, the vinyl room tour. So please leave your comments, if you will. I thank you for watching, and you have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye.